Get them away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hating me. Get them away from me.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Tryna keep it on the true side, nigga. Laying low to play it cool, nah, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get the green ever since I was 2'5", nigga. Coop hanging out the roof, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't stunting on them. Put my whole team on so they ain't wantin'. When niggas doing bad, you know that they be hating on you. Get the hoping that you fall, they be waiting on it. Bullshit, get bread from the envy. Best friends get to looking like enemies. When you got it in this bank account empty. Perfect recipe to breed a lot of jealousy. Looking from a bird's eye view. Learn from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spending life with the nigga, never let him put a dick up in you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when you paper long, never flex that shit. Told my son, when you getting money, never trick it to a bopper, flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kids. Gotta keep it real, that's the best shit. Got hitters up in Philly, back in Texas. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army. Going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. So they like, damn, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, keep on sobbing, got this bitch off the hand. Got this juice, got this drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. Hey, one way, one way, one way, one way, one way. Coming up on my I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause it's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drums, black and yellow Air Ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third. Lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all stepping. Kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5
what you do in life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a cod. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoking, so we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on my devotion.
Excuse me, I got a question.
Somebody give me Romans 13 and 11.
I have a question.
It's a Ronald Carr, man. Give me Romans 13 and 11.
Khan Khan, this is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
All right. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana. We have been called to teach the so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, and the so-called Native American people that we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And if you pay attention to that last statement that I made of us being the lost sheep of the house of Israel, what that means is that we don't actually have any guidance in today's world. Tonight is the law class. And if you have men that are following the law and they're leading you, they can give you the guidance that you need, because as Christ saw it, we see it today. There are a lot of us out here, but there's no shepherd to lead us. There's no shepherds. And, you know, here in the ISUPK, as we said, we're under Commanding General Yohana, and he has been a shepherd to, you know, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans on which way to go. When you're in the world, you're using the wisdom and the precepts of men that don't even, you know, they don't hold a candle to what God actually has for you and what's supposed to be done. That's why you see a lot of us are, you know, we're homeless. A lot of us are, you know, working these low paying jobs. We're being crushed by the enemy, whether that's spiritually or spiritually or mentally. And one of the things we should take hold is to the scriptures and being led by men who can actually give us the truth. Gosh, if I could get Matthew 9:27. I want to read a couple of scriptures out of Matthew 9:27, because this is an account in Matthew about Christ and what he saw and what he was doing. And it also ties into, the things that we're doing in the ISUPK. When we go out and we're giving a word, we're following the scriptures and we're feeding the sheep, whether that's giving them clothes, whether that's giving them food, or, the word. And that's what we're supposed to do. We can't, stay held up in some musty church with stained glass windows and offer, a speech that's, something like a motivational speech. And then it doesn't really benefit the people. I don't get to count how many churches are in my area, but when I take my son to school in the morning, if he can't take the bus that morning, there's a church on almost every single corner. Like in one spot, there's about 4 churches within in one street. There's like 4 churches.
That's tough.
But it's the worst area. Right. Like you'll notice it's the churches are the worst area, and you'll know what something is by its fruits. Like an apple tree is an apple tree because what? It's producing apples.
Right.
What a fig tree is, what different things are about the fruits they produce. So if you see there is, homosexuality, going on in the church, that's not the place to be. If you see a whole bunch of immorality going on, or you see a whole bunch of things that are contrary to the scriptures, that's not a place of God. But as, Black people, not to call us dumb or anything, because we get enough of that from the oppressor, but we have been very dumb in the fact that we don't have a way of critical thinking ourselves out of situations. We're ready to hear smooth words from people. We want to hear things that sound good, but the truth hurts. You ever had advice for somebody? You try to give them the truth, but they don't want to hear it. They would rather hear you lie to them.
Absolutely.
That's how we've been in this place as a people. But we can go ahead and start at Matthew 9:27.
Khan. The book of Matthew, chapter 9 and verse 27. Salakia.
No sweat.
I scroll down. Verse 9 and 27.
Salakia, if I could. I just want to normally I get started and I do not say shout out to the chat. It looks like we have quite a few comments. We got LB in the building. She says Shalom Yahweh Shamar Alathan by Shani Al Shai. That's my rib. We also have your car. She says Shalom Yahweh Salakia. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Alathan by Shani Al Shai. That is the rib of priest and officer Ram Ya'ala. And they are tuning in from Fort Worth, Texas. Shalom to Just Art and Paint. Good to see you, sis. Also, Kanaya Howda. Shalom, sis. She laughed. She said, Musty Church is hilarious. And LB says, that's so crazy. If the church was it, then the fruit would be clean streets. Absolutely. You look around those streets, it's a lot of prostitution going on. Around those streets, there's a lot of drug deals going on, and there's nothing really good coming out of that, that vicinity. But let's get it. Matthew 9 and 27.
Khan. Matthew 9 and 27. And when Yahweh departed thence, 2 blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David.
So they're crying at Christ, and they know, like, these are men that are actually, around Christ, and they know the scriptures of what it says about him. It says in the scriptures, it says there would be one from the seed of David. So they already know what it is. Thou son of David. And they say, have mercy on us. Salakia, continue.
Khan. 28. And when he was coming to the house, the blind men came to him, and Yahweh saith unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this?
So he asked a question. He said, he knows what they're coming for. They're blind. And he says, do you believe that I can, heal you, make you see? Continue.
They said unto him, Yea, Lord.
Christ is right in front of them. They got faith on him. Christ is not right in front of us right now.
Right.
But his word and his works are.
Exactly.
Even though Christ is not in front of us right now, and he has not returned yet, what he has left behind for us, what he has done for us, we need to hold on to. And we, like these blind men had faith, like when Christ is right in front of them, and if they blind, they can't really even see him. The degree of how blind they are, who knows? I'm assuming that they are like almost pitch black blind. Like they can't see anything, but they've heard of Christ. They know what's going on. He's right there. And they're like, now is my chance to seize the moment. When your life is messed up and it's turned upside down, and you see these priests and prophets in here telling you that we do have all the answers. Like, I'm a young man in the truth. I can't even tell you how long I've been in the truth. It's been about a year or something, and I've studied these scriptures, but there are men that have been studying for 20 years, 30 years.
Right.
And if I don't have the answer right then and there, if I can't give you the exact explanation or that breakdown, I can go to a man above me who I'm under who can give you that explanation. Christ had all the answers right here. Christ didn't have to go to anybody but the Father. As a person that sees the ISUPK, if your life is messed up, come within these walls so we can help you out. So you won't have to figuratively be blind. You search around in the dark for an answer right now, and you don't have any answers, because what you're seeing is not really real as far as something that can help your life.
Right.
Somebody telling you in some informational session on Instagram or YouTube that if you do this, you can make $1 million. You can be rich, this, that, and the fourth. That's not going to stop you from dying in the streets. That's not going to stop you from getting cancer. The only thing that can pretty much put a hedge in between you and destruction is the Lord. And we have the answer. We follow the Lord. That's why he's with us. Continue.
Come on. Verse 29. Then touched he their eyes, saying, according to your faith, be it unto you.
They had faith on Jesus, like the scriptures say, and they were delivered. Continue.
Verse 30. And their eyes were open, and Yahweh straightly charged them, saying, see that no man know it. But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in all that country.
Good night. They didn't even listen. Christ said, listen, man, don't just go and just tell everybody, but they had to.
Right.
Like they had to. I would, if he told me that, Salakia, I would pray I would listen to what Christ had to tell me. I probably wouldn't have said anything. Go ahead.
Man, I ain't following that order.
Salakia, I'm following him.
Nah, because you got to understand, like, them niggas was blind since birth.
Right.
And they seeing all the colors, and they seeing their face, they seeing their hands for the first time, they seeing their mama, their family, their friends. Like, it's impossible. Like, that's kind of like he gave that order knowing, I don't want to say knowing he's gonna break it, but you can't stop something that great. Like, you gotta say it, man. I'm just saying.
I mean, judging off of what he said, I'll put it to you like this. What we speaking about, even though we're talking about the law, we're also going to be talking about wisdom today. Like, we're going to touch on that subject just a little bit, because our wisdom comes from the scriptures, and we are pretty much famished out here. We're pretty much destroyed. It's because a lack of knowledge. Right. But not to get too much on what's happening in this. No sweat. Yeah, it's Tawab. Imagine if people that grew up with them. How many people do you know that have an ailment and you've seen them all their life? You know anybody like in a wheelchair that's got like a messed up hand or anything like that?
I know people, but I haven't known them like all my life.
Right. You just seen them.
Yeah.
Now imagine if you walk up on that person and you see that they're healed. Like, I know a dude that's like 7 feet and he's blind. It's like he's almost 7 feet tall. He's like 6'10" or something. He might even be 7 feet. He's so tall, when he was walking to get where he needed to go, he's using a walking stick. He's getting hit in the face with branches that I don't even have to duck under. That's how tall he was. I kid you not. I can't imagine seeing him and him being, able to, have full range of his eyes. Yeah, I can't imagine that. But if he came around me, he was healed by Christ, and he said, "Yo, God did this for me." Yeah. I can't speak too much on it, but God, this I'm gonna have to respect it. Man, I get what you're saying.
I'm telling everybody.
Yeah, he said they gonna disobey Christ.
I was like, yo, man, nigga Christ killed me.
Lucky. Where we at? Verse 30?
Come on.
Okay, verse 30.
And their eyes were opened, and Yahweh straightly charged them, saying, see that no man know it. But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in all that country. As they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb man possessed with the devil. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spake, and the multitudes marveled, saying, it was never so seen in Israel.
They never seen anything like this in Israel. We're building up to something because we've been so just destroyed in this place. We don't even know when something's actually good. And we building up to that because we have people that they do pretend miracles.
Yeah.
They'll wave a white towel over somebody and then they'll start shouting and going in convulsions like they're being electrocuted. You feel me? They'll say something to the effect of, we got this demon detox for you. Get a couple drops of this water in it and make the demons flee. That's what we're used to. We don't know what real miracles are anymore. Go ahead.
I got a short story real quick. Right?
Go ahead. No sweat.
My mother, she used to believe on the TV preachers.
Right.
And they had something, I forget.
As did we all.
Yeah. She had bought some water from Jerusalem that was in like a bottle or something. And I forget what they said it was for, but now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, damn, she really bought that shit.
And Lord knows what was in that water.
Just some tap water, probably.
It's tap water with all sorts of amoebas. That water had chlorine in it. That water had some calcium in it. Whatever you can get from the bottom of a lake, whatever you can get from your average tap. It's something that we were probably drinking. Like you were ever a kid and you playing outside and you drinking from the hose instead of drinking in the house, because if you come inside, it's a wrap. Exactly. Like, you want to come in and out the house? Stay in the house. That's what was in there. And we believe on things like that. We'll see good night. The Hamites take it too far.
Hamites is funny.
They take it too far, man. Like they'll mess around and make you lay on your stomach, and they'll say they're gonna thrust the demon out of you with their hips. Like that's what type of time they're on. Like they take it to a whole nother level. It's beyond me to see how stupid they could be to present it that way. But now, us starting to have our eyes open like Christ opened these men's eyes, we start to see what's actually fake. We start not to be blind to all the lies that are being told to us and shown to us that are out in the world. But we'll continue because I want to get to a part on this.
Khan. Verse 33. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spake, and the multitudes marveled, saying, it was never so seen in Israel. But the Pharisee said, he casteth out devils through the prince of the devils.
They gave the glory, or they gave credit for Christ doing this to Satan.
That's tough.
And instead of acknowledging the fact that this and can you look up can Satan cast out Satan? However that's worded. I don't want to botch it up. But that's not possible. Like what they're saying happened is not possible. Let me see if I can find that for you.
I got you. Hold on. It's Satan.
It should be Matthew 12 and 26. Let's read that, because that's not what happened. And I want to get to a topic real quick about that, because there's a lot of things that were said to us, a lot of things that were attempted on us while we were out trying to do the Lord's work.
Right.
But as the scripture said, I don't want to sound like a Christian. No weapon formed against us shall prosper.
Hallelujah.
That's lucky. But go ahead. Let's hear that.
Matthew 12 and 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself.
This is not possible because Satan would be divided against himself, and Satan has a job to test us. He's not going to diminish his ability to do exactly what his job is. Satan didn't cast out Satan.
Right.
But these Pharisees said he casts us out devils through the prince of devils. And a lot of the stuff that we try to do, or not even try, that we do, through faith on these scriptures and faith in Christ and following the laws and statutes and commandments, it's seen as something that's evil. When we tell the truth, when we say the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, or when we believe on what exactly the scriptures are saying, they compare us to the devil. When we had that black party, and we threw a party that had nothing to do with the day of the Passover. Do you remember what they said that we were doing there?
They said a lot of stuff like sacrificing a lamb. The lamb.
They tried to say that we were sacrificing a lamb at a party where people were rapping, drinking, dancing, having fun. It was a party, and they threw on us like, no, we like throughout that weekend, throughout that week, we doing the work of the Lord. You got people complaining. You have people that have an issue with us being in a neighborhood who has been left, just to rot. And we're trying to feed and clothe these people, and they're causing problems. When we're having the Lord's Passover, there, one of the men above us had brought out that there was a chat, and I believe it was full of Edomites, and they have an issue with us having fireworks, boasting in the Lord, doing what we're supposed to, what we were commanded. And it's like, yo, you're trying to call us devils when we're doing the Lord's work. That's actually blasphemy. We can continue. That'd be verse 35. We can go back to verse 35, unless you had more on that verse.
No, that was it.
No sweat. The water.
So Matthew 9 and 35.
All
right. So let me get there real quick.
And we can just start at 34.
All right. Matthew chapter 9 and 34. But the Pharisee said, he casted out devils through the prince of devils. And Yahushua went up about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues.
So Yahushua didn't let that stop him. And a lot of times when brothers are in the truth and they tell their families that are in the world the truth of the Bible, they get called devils.
Right.
They say that we're doing stuff that's satanic, and there's nothing in here that we do that's even remotely close to it. You see incense burning, that comes from the scriptures. You see a menorah on the table, that comes from the scriptures. You see a shofar, a scroll, though, that comes from the scriptures. This is from God. This is what God gave us. But you'll be in a church as a pastor or a priest, and you'll have a what did that man come out with? He has a first gentleman in the church instead of a first lady now.
First gentleman.
Yes.
Who did that?
So some LGBTQ lifestyle pastor.
That's crazy.
So but that's not you don't consider that the work of Satan.
Called his first man or something?
The first gentleman.
The first gentleman?
Instead of, how they have ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
But they don't want to call that to be something of Satan. They'll have in the church, as a Catholic priest, you'll know that the people that you serve with are out here assaulting children, and they're just getting moved from church to church. You don't call that the devil. But when we wear, spikes or studs and warlike apparel, you want to call us the devil. When we have a Passover and we don't celebrate Halloween and these other things that are actually of Satan, you call us the devil when we cast out these things. Continue.
Teaching in the synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people.
And these bastards are saying that it's of the devil. And that's just like people in the Christian church that would try to make a mockery out of what we're doing.
Right.
But do nothing but hurt the people.
Exactly.
Let's continue.
Verse 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them.
Christ felt a certain type of way. He was moved with compassion when he saw the multitudes of us. And this is the next thing. Remember when I said that we are under commanding General Yahanna, and we have been, called to teach so-called Native Americans, blacks and Hispanics,
right, that
we are the sheep of the house of Israel. That sheep is something that is so much like us. If anybody out there ever understands what a sheep will do when it's about to be slaughtered, you would understand that's us. We're just like lambs or sheep led to the slaughter. When a lamb is about to give up his life or about to lose his life, it actually damn near just lifts his neck up to you, like, take it. They're so trusting of the very entity that's about to slaughter them that they just give up their neck. They don't even put up a fight.
Yeah.
When this oppressor is in our neighborhoods and is able to just push drugs in there, we sell these drugs.
Right.
We're giving up our necks. When this oppressor is bringing in a lifestyle that doesn't suit us, when this oppressor is having our children in different ideologies and religions, we're giving up our necks and we're being slaughtered because we're sheep that don't even know who our enemy is. We don't even know what's about to happen. And if we do, we just give into it as if there's nothing else better.
Exactly.
All right, Salakia, we can continue.
All right. Come on, Khan. Abroad, it's Salakia.
We can start from the top of that verse.
Verse 36. And when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them.
We are supposed to have compassion on our people.
Right.
We're not supposed to look down on them. Whenever I see somebody and they're on the side of the road trying to, make a living for themselves so they can feed their family, I never look at them and think in my head, go get a job. I wish I had a couple dollars on me so I could buy what they had. Or damn, I wish I could change their life. We're supposed to have compassion on our people. We shouldn't be so much like these devils around us that we have a capitalistic approach to everything around us, to where everything is money, money, money. To where we're looking at a brother and we don't know what struggle or what strife he's had to go through. And before we even help him, we're willing to say, get a job before we even know what's going on. As if we weren't I always put myself in that position like, man, if I was in that same position, I wish somebody would help me.
Right.
And a lot of the times if I do have cash, because I don't work in a cash intensive business, so I never have cash. That check hits my account and I'm swiping my card. But what I should do is have cash in my car. So if I can help a brother out and it's something small, I wish somebody could do it for me. And if all of us helped out brothers and gave them at least a word of encouragement, at least pointed them towards the priest and the prophet of ISUPK, not some fake Israelite group that's gonna get your daughter assaulted by a Hamite, not some fake Israelite group that's going to teach men that they can assault children. The real deal started in 1 West 1969. That's what we need to be giving people. We need to have compassion for our people. I'm gonna go ahead and read that from the top one more time. This is Matthew 9:36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. When Christ is describing that, he's talking about how just destitute we are, how downtrodden we are, because we don't have a shepherd. It's almost like having children that don't actually have a father in their life, a mother in their life that can lead them in which way they need to go. If you don't have a mother or father in your life to tell you what you need to do, you're going to be doing all types of things. You're going to be getting advantage taken of you by everybody. I don't know if anybody saw this, but did y'all see the brother that was a teacher and he was having his students unbraid his hair? You saw that, right? A lot of people don't understand, why that's something that shouldn't be happening. It may seem innocent. A lot of brothers that have daughters or nieces, they understand what's going on. And if you look deeper into that situation, there's a lot of, there's a lot of children that don't have a real life shepherd in their life that can lead them. Because if that was my daughter or one of my nieces, I would be having a conversation with that brother man to man and let him know that my daughter, my niece, is to never be in class doing anything with you that does not pertain to what is on your curriculum. It wasn't that big of a deal, they said. It's not that big of an issue. But when you look at another video, you see a high school student saying, she was emo and she has her, her figure turned towards the camera. And the same man that was getting his hair braided by these, young ladies is the same man that looked at this video of the girl saying she was an emo, and he did a little skit about it. And, was pretty much saying that he would turn emo for her. But that's a college. Slovakia, that's a high school student. So he's saying he's not being inappropriate because he's getting his hair done, but you see other videos where there's a very inappropriate thing that he's saying, which if he said something like that, first of all, the high school student shouldn't even be doing that, shouldn't have her behind turned towards the camera, but he shouldn't be making a comment saying he's going to go emo for, you know, her rear end.
Right.
And this is a high school student. If there was a black man with wisdom in every single house, that type of stuff wouldn't be happening. He wouldn't be a teacher. And if a man of wisdom caught him doing something like that, it would either have to stop, or fortunately somebody would run in his mouth. Let's start at verse 37 because we're wrapping up at the end. Well, matter of fact, we can get verse 36 from the top one more time.
Con. Matthew 9:36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad, as sheep having no shepherd. Then saith unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteousness.
He's saying there's a lot of Israelites out of here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Black and Hispanics and Native Americans out here. But continue.
But the laborers are few.
The people that are going to lead them in the right way are absolutely few. There's not that many. You got Christ and his disciples, and there is a multitude of people spread abroad with no shepherd. And we need Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American men to get up in this truth so we can lead our people. The last time I checked, what was there, like 300 million Black people or something like that? Not even. Like maybe 13 million. I'm giving the whole United States, I think. But there's millions of Black people. We need more of us to come in here, get the wisdom, get taught, get officiated, and get official so we can lead our people out of the destruction that they're facing every single day. Nothing is getting better. Have you noticed our times getting worse, or are they getting better?
Worse.
They getting worse.
A lot of stuff like we already kind of like, so like a lot of times like when I try to tell people things, they already kind of like too far down the line to kind of like accept it.
Right.
So like what I believe in, like kind of like in this like where it's kind of that like people are scared to change their way of living when they hear the truth. So
exactly,
that's absolutely right.
It's all about a mind thing. They got you so programmed into thinking that it's hard to do this or to do that, or live this way, or live that way.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna touch on something that you said. I'm gonna remember you said that. You said, and I'm gonna try to remember your words. Mm-hmm. You said that when you're trying to tell people about the truth, they're so far gone that they don't even want to hear it, right?
Yeah. I touch on a lot of topics. Like I'm big on health stuff. So
right.
I tell a lot of people about like what's like I told you, I'm a barber. So I get a lot of people that come to me and be like, yo, I got this wrong with me or that. Like with the heart thing. Anytime somebody tell me they got a heart problem, I tell them like, yo, you know, it's probably, if you like peanut butter a lot, it's probably from that. Because in Russia, peanut butter been banned for years. It's just
because of what's in it.
Yeah, it's right. Preserved peanuts. They give off like a toxin. It's bad for the heart.
You know what? It's heavy that you're bringing that out, because the fact that we have an oppressor over us that doesn't even really regulate what's coming in, to the grocery stores.
Yeah, United States, we the only one who don't practice parasite cleanse and stuff like that.
We're the only ones that have all these banned products around the world, but we still sell them in the grocery stores and wonder why there's so many kids that have issues mentally, and wonder why we have so many kids, that have, a ton of actual physical issues. Mm-hmm. But Salakia, before, I don't want to get too off topic, but I'm going to touch on what you said in a second. Gosh, if we can just finish these scriptures out, 37 and 38.
Yes, sir. Then saith unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest.
I'm gonna start making sure I keep that in mind every single time when I see a brother that I think might be potentially able to come in here, learn, not turn his back on the Lord, and do the work of the Lord, because that's what we need. We need to stop being, as a people, so selfish. We need to learn what we should fight for. Before we jump into what Ant brought back to my mind, let me see. let me get Ezekiel 34:5. Because we are actually sheep without a shepherd. And one of the things that we should be doing is actually just following the law, statutes, and commandments. We should know that it's okay for us to come in here and learn from another man, because that's all you do in the world.
Exactly.
You're being taught by every single R&B and rap artist that you should sleep with another man's woman. That's what you're being taught. But we don't teach you that in here. We're not going to get into a habit or into a mind state of saying, yeah, when you're out there rapping, or when you're doing this, or when you live in your life, the epitome of being, a man is taking another man's woman, because that's what they think.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't teach that in here, but that's what you're being taught. You're being taught that every day. You're being taught that money is more important than anything in the world. You're being taught that by men, by the oppressor, by the devil that the Bible speaks of. But you'd be wrong to come in here and learn the truth. You'd be wrong to come in here and learn how to keep your family safe, how to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, how to actually love God. After waking up, I don't see how that's even an issue, learning from us, when you learn every disgusting thing in the world. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Salakia, if we can get that verse.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and verse 5. And they were scattered.
The Israelites were just scattered. Continue.
Because there was no shepherd.
That's how we are now. We don't have a shepherd to lead us right now. We don't have any wisdom. And let's finish that verse out, because I want to get to it.
Come on. And they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered.
We became food. You ever heard the term when somebody said, oh, he's food? You heard that term before, right? That's what we are. As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we tough, we warriors. But to the other nations, we're food. They can come and build establishments, brick and mortar in our neighborhoods. We do nothing about it. But if a brother is walking through your neighborhood, whether it be East LA, whether it be, Oakland, whether it be certain parts of New York, certain neighborhoods, you got brothers from that neighborhood that want to check him, like, who you know here?
Exactly.
Where your mom stay? Where your grandma stay? You're not checking them East Indians that take every single dollar out the hood. You're not checking when you got drugs moving into the hood and the government is using what's the biggest cartel member that we heard of?
El Chapo.
El Chapo. The government used El Chapo to bring drugs into Chicago.
Right.
No, who was able to check on that and say, don't bring that in here? No, you welcomed it with open arms. You sold it to your people, and now you got an entire generation of Chicago natives that are blowing each other's heads off because you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, and you don't have a shepherd to lead you. And out of the millions and infinity churches that are on every corner, you're not being taught the right thing. The point that I wanted to bring up, and I'll make it very short, is back in the 70s, there was an agent from the KGB, that's Russian, and his name was Yuri Bezmenov, and he said he defected from Russia, and he ended up going to Canada. And one of the things that he said was, what is happening with war that we don't realize coming from Russia and other, state-funded agencies, is that they're using something called demoralization, where they get you so far gone on what's moral, they can give you so many facts and give you pictures, and you don't even believe it. Like, you don't know what to hold. Like you were saying that you're giving them the scriptures, you're showing them the truth, but they're so far gone, they don't even want to hear it. It's because they've been demoralized. They've been destroyed. They don't have any morals. And once you don't have any morals, even facts don't present themselves in a manner to where you're able to accept it. You'll be willing to accept anything. You'll say something to the effect of, like, look, man, you can't eat pork. The Lord don't want you doing that. And you'll show them in the scriptures. They'll say, nah, we don't have to listen to that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they say right now. They'll
Right.
be like,
Nah, Salaki, remember to raise your hand, but go ahead. Nah, no sweat. Go ahead. Tell me.
and they'll be like, who's to say that that book is true? You feel me?
Right.
That's what most people would say, or they'll be like, who wrote that?
Right.
For me, that's because they don't really know.
And I would ask that same person, so how do you know what to believe? Because if we go off of how do we know that book is true, how do they know anything is true? You got people that are willing to believe that, you know, even if they were born with a penis, they can be a woman,
right?
A cat, you know, they can be whatever they want to be. You got people that believe that we're in a simulation to where this is computer generated. What else people believing out here that's crazy? I think the earth is flat is crazy. I think that's crazy. And I think out of all the things, even if the earth was flat, that's not going to stop somebody who wants to be like Chief Keef from turning your head into grape jelly. That's not going to happen. None of that stuff matters. What really does matter is, like Ant said, is our people are so far gone, you can give them the truth. You can give them facts and they don't want to hear it. You can say, yo, you should stop selling drugs because the government used the cartel to destroy the Black community. The government destroyed them over in Mexico and is using them to destroy us with their drug mules, and they'll keep selling the drugs. They'll keep smoking it. You'll say, yo, COVID is here. You might want to get the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say, I'm not taking that vaccine. That thing's going to put a microchip in. The U.S., what is it? The Army, I can't remember the exact name, but the Army had a patent on marijuana. If the Army has a patent on anything, it's to be weaponized. Do you notice how distraught and how like messed up our people are as far as understanding stuff is? You don't think marijuana plays a part in that? We're willing to not take the vaccine, but marijuana, we don't know where it came from. We're willing to go ahead and smoke it. And then people say, well, let me get into the dispensary. That's from the government. Salakia, go ahead.
That's an excellent point. Because we get government grade marijuana. You don't know what they've done to it.
You feel me?
But they don't want to take the vaccine. That's actually a good point. I mean,
it's insane to me. And other brothers have made that point, but I wanted to highlight that because we don't have any critical thinking within our brains. This defector, the Russian, was talking about how once you get people to not know what facts are, they don't even know who their enemies are.
Right.
Who does that sound like?
Black people.
We don't even know who our enemies are. We don't know these same people that come in our neighborhoods and have an infrastructure and take dollars out the hood, don't give back, are our enemies. We don't know that the oppressor that polices our neighborhoods and gentrify our neighborhoods, we don't know that these people are our enemies, and we do have enemies. But when these other nations see you, they know your food. Mm-hmm. That's why they can come and move into your neighborhoods and nothing really happens to them. And unless they do something real goofy to you, nothing normally happens to these people. They're safer than me walking through the neighborhood. And that's a damn shame. Ezekiel 34:5 says, before I move on to some of these definitions I want to bring out, it says, and they were scattered because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. Somebody mentioned this too. When there's a flock or a herd of animals, it's very hard for lions to pick them off. It's very hard for, those large predators, wolves, to pick them off. They normally try to get somebody to deviate away from the herd.
Right.
As sheep, we should stay in a herd that's led by the shepherd, protected by the shepherd, but also protected by who we have around us. If we stuck together like we're supposed to, they wouldn't be able to treat us like food. They wouldn't be able to eat off of us the way they do. Police wouldn't be able to come in our neighborhoods, knock us in our head and frisk us for no reason and plant drugs on us if we had a shepherd. There's a lot of horrible things going on that happen by and large that we don't even really truly know the numbers about because it's not reported the way it should be. But if we were together like the Bible says. What is it? Zephaniah 2:1?
Yes.
Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We could be like a strong herd and we would no longer be food. Shoot, what the Bible describe the tribe of Judah as? A lion, right?
Yeah.
We got all these tough guys, right? We got all these people who know all these different things, but we're separated. So how does that actually help us? I know brothers who know jujitsu. I know brothers who are the swiftest with their hands, but how does that benefit our people as a whole? We're a whole bunch of individualites. We're a whole bunch of individual soldiers fighting for only our own cause, and that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
When you have nations that are confederate against you, like the Bible says, you want to be alone? What is a lion to 20,000 wolves? Food. Salakia. So what comes with these scriptures is wisdom. And I'll give a definition of that because in ISUPK, we learn practical knowledge. We need to start reading and learning definitions to understand and open up our minds to have some form of critical thinking. It says wisdom is the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. We don't got good judgment.
Not at all.
As a people, we don't have good judgment. There's a woman who unfortunately unalived her daughter by reaching in her purse to get something, and her gun went off in her purse. If you had wisdom, if you had a man who knew what he was doing, if you went to a safety class, you would know that you don't have any firearm anywhere you have to reach into without that trigger guarded.
Right.
And not to highlight the sister, in such a bad light, but I can't imagine losing my child because I didn't have enough wisdom in a situation and something happens to him. And even when I lack wisdom, I pray the Lord shows me mercy because I'm going to follow his law, statutes, and commandments and stand with him. Like, who's actually going to stand with the Lord? That's another point I want to make. But wisdom is what we need to have. Also, if we had a shepherd teaching us wisdom, we would also have a shepherd that was teaching us how to vet people. We got this young man, he's a black brother who had, oppressors as friends. They pushed him into a body of water. I don't know the exact body of water, right? But he ended up drowning and a stranger had to pull him out. They're joking and waving to him while he's going under. That brother ended up brain dead for a while. He ended up in a coma.
Damn.
He was pretty much dead when they found him. He wakes up and he's upset that these same friends, these oppressors, weren't around for a while to see him. And he's saying this is not an issue. He doesn't even know that these are his enemies. And he's saying that it wasn't a racially motivated situation. He doesn't even know how to vet his friends. Let me get Ecclesiastes 6 and 7. Here's what a shepherd would tell you. Here's what the scriptures told us. Because we were given these scriptures. The ones in the past are for our learning, and the ones that are here now that people want to, that think here and now, because the New Testament, that's the past too. I don't know if you understand this, but the New Testament is thousands of years old, just like the Apocrypha in the Old Testament. It's all for our learning.
Right.
It's all for shepherds to show you this wisdom so you can live a better life. So you don't do something like hurting your children. Your job, like General Muhammad said, as a parent, is to lessen the trauma. God forbid unaliving your child because you didn't have the wisdom and the know-how to secure a firearm that was there to protect you and your child.
That's crazy too.
But because you don't have the wisdom behind what you're wielding, you end up taking that child's life. But we on vetting. Vetting, it says, gerund or present particular vetting, make a careful or critical examination of something. We should vet our friends. We should vet institutions.
Absolutely.
We should really vet every single thing around us. When I came here, do you think they don't vetted me before I got up here and taught before you? And when I heard these scriptures, don't you think I looked around me to see the men that are around me and vetted them? These brothers that, treated me like a brother are now my friends. And why? Because they proved it. Let's get that in the scriptures.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, Prove him first.
How do you know somebody's your friend unless they prove it?
Exactly.
Let's say something happens and you have a group of people that are trying to give you harm, and you got friends with you, and your friends leave you behind, and you end up just completely messed up. They didn't prove that they were your friends. They proved that they were cowards.
Right.
And in a lot of situations, people trust who they're around simply because they've done friendly things around them. They've rolled weed with them. I don't even want to say what other people, what these brothers out here are doing that make people believe that they're your friends, but you on a merry-go-round with some loose broad, and you know, you on the choo-choo with some broad, and you think just because you did that with a group of people who are, you know, sexual deviants, that they're your friends. But when SHIT really hits the fan, are they really your friends? If you got a big heart and you want to invite everybody into your life and give them the clothes off your back, did they actually prove that they deserved it? Nope. In a lot of situations, you're their friend, but they're not yours.
Right.
And that's what you need to realize. Can I get that scripture one more time?
Khan. Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 7.
Because this is wisdom.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
Don't credit him with nothing until they prove it. Oh, that's my man's. You're vouching for him. You're saying this, that, and the fourth. And then you got to turn around and say, yeah, he was trash. He ended up doing this, that, and the fourth. I let him borrow $30, $40, and now I can't get a hold of him. He went behind my back and was trying to sleep with my woman. He went and told all these lies about me behind my back, but you let that person so close within your vicinity that they know everything about you, that they can make a lie about you seem real. And you didn't prove that they were your friends. You didn't test them. The Most High tests us to make sure we with them. The least we can do is test the people around us. If I can get Ezekiel 3 and 18.
Ezekiel 3 and 18.
Here's what a shepherd should do. And this is all encompassing what we should do, because we need to be learning the law. We need to have a certain amount of wisdom. How do you know what to do unless you are being taught by somebody who knows what to do?
Right.
Are you going to go through your whole life trying to do guesswork and figure it out yourself? No. Life is something that you have to learn, or Salakia. Life is something that you should be going through with wisdom.
Right.
You shouldn't have to learn everything along the way. How many mistakes do you want to make? You can't just hop in the car and jump on the road and assume that you know every traffic signal, you know every protocol for driving. Somebody has to teach you. Somebody has to teach you how to do these things.
Absolutely. My
My son swears up and down he can drive. You let him? Hell no, he's 9 years old. The boy just learned how to ride a bike. I'm gonna have to teach that boy how to drive. Maybe by the time he drives, every car will drive itself. But until I'm gonna still have to teach him. But Salaki, Ezekiel 3 and 18.
Khan. Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life.
So this is talking about when the Lord is letting if somebody's doing something, let me say it this way: somebody's doing something, you know that thing is wrong, you know, with the Lord. It's saying you should tell that person. But let's continue. I'll break it down after you finish reading it. So
to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will require at thy hand.
So this is saying if somebody is committing a sin and you know that sin is going to cause them death because the Lord spoke it, you're supposed to warn that person. And if you don't, that blood is on your hands. That's why I don't want your blood on my hands. That's why if I see somebody doing something wrong, I'll use Chris as an example. I see Chris doing something crazy, I'm going to tell him. If he chooses to listen, that's on him. And the reason why I'm going to tell Chris that is because I want to save his life.
Right.
That's what I want to do.
Real friend.
And I pray that what Chris would do is go to the next man and try to save his life.
Right.
But in the Christian church, they'll let you live in your sin.
They will.
They'll even show you that they're going to live in sin. They'll have a first gentleman. They will literally be in the church with some man whose shirt is half sheer with his nipples popping out of it, parading him in front of the church. Pause.
Yo.
But that's what was online.
God.
This man was in a shirt that is something that it looked crazy. It looked like he invited Cisco to the church and he got his hands on him and he's presenting him in front of the church and he's taking a picture. And we all know that goes against the scriptures.
Right.
But not only is that man not telling you that lifestyle is wrong, he's even showing you that he's going to live that lifestyle. He's supposed to be a shepherd. He's supposed to be giving you the word from God saying that's wrong. So when men die in that lifestyle, their blood is on his hands.
Right.
Their blood is not going to be on mine. Because I'll say if you're in that alternative lifestyle, you should turn away from it. And if somebody has an issue with that, don't take it up with me. Take it up with the scriptures because I'm coming from the scriptures as it is written. You can't inherit the kingdom of heaven as even an effeminate,
right,
let alone somebody that's going to abuse themselves with mankind as a man. Salakia. If we can jump down to verse 19.
Verse 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness.
If you tell them that the law is not to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, and they still won't turn away, continue.
Nor from his wicked way, he shall surely die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
You have delivered your soul. The Lord is not going to require your blood because you didn't warn that man. You did warn that man. I personally know people who have died eating shrimp, crab, and lobster.
God damn.
Or Salakia. I'm saying shrimp, crab, and lobster. They died eating seafood, technically.
Okay.
It was clams, and that's something that we shouldn't be eating.
That's nasty.
It's what they say. What's that old term? It's the cat's meow in the world.
The cat's meow.
That's what they say.
What they mean by that?
It's the best thing. Like it's the best thing in the world. Like that. It's so backwards with this food that is supposed to be clean in the bottom of the earth in the water. That if you take a woman out to go eat these sea spiders and roaches and things that are natural garbage, man, you take her to eat that, you done did a good thing in her eyes. Like, oh, he done took me out on a date to eat
red lobster.
Yeah, red lobster.
Ew.
But the Lord is saying that that's not for you to be eaten. The Lord is saying that he has other things that you can eat that are good to eat, but it's an abomination for you. So I'm going to tell you the right thing to do because it's the law. It's required of me. Let's get that one more time from the top.
Slacking from verse 18?
No, 19.
Khan. Ezekiel 3:19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall surely die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
Damn right. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and verse 20. Because I know personally, I've told people, and I'm not going to say their names, but I've told people that their lifestyle was not something that was good for them and they were sinning against the Most High. And they're having all these problems. And they think they can move what state they're in.
Right.
They think they can move the physical location where they're at.
Try
to run and go somewhere else and everything is going to get better. But that's not what's going to happen. Because if you sin against the Lord here and then you do it over there, you're going to have the same problems. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 20.
Khan. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, rebuke, and all that settest thine hand unto do, until thou be destroyed.
So whatever you try to do, it's not going to work. The Lord is going to destroy you in everything you do. You put your hand in something, it's not going to work because you're sinning against the Most High. Continue.
Khan. And until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
That doesn't mean that does, like, a lot of people when they think what sin is, like, Salakia. And if you could tell me, and since you may or may not have been told the answer by one of us, you may know it. You may not know what answer I'm looking for, but what would you say sin is?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you because I never really believed in like most of the Christianity stuff.
Right.
So I couldn't really tell you honestly. I'm still learning this kind of stuff.
No sweat. But if you could sum it up in like a couple of words, what would you say sin is?
Going against God.
A little bit more specific.
Like you were like doing like an act. You would like me sum it up in like an act, like something that someone does that would be a sin. Like maybe like incest. That's a sin.
That would definitely be a sin. So that's a good enough answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you plain and simple what sin is. This is 1 John 3 and 4. It says, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Right.
For sin is transgression of the law. So if you ever want to know what sin is, sin, plain and simple, is breaking God's commandments, breaking God's laws. If you break any of God's laws, that's a sin. So you can keep it like that. So if the law is don't eat pork and you eat it, you're sinning.
Right.
If the law is what's another law?
White women.
Yeah, if the law is don't get with one of the women for the other nations and you do that anyway, that would be a sin. So when somebody tries to say something obscure about what wickedness is talking about sin. Sin is talking about transgression of the law, and that's what's happening when it says when you're forsaken the Most High. I just wanted to make that clear. So if anybody ever has that and they be like, you even know what sin is, it's transgression of the law, and you can find that in 1 John 3 and 4.
Right.
No sweat. We could drop down to verse 22 in Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 28 and 22. The Lord shall smite thee with the consumption and with the fever and with an inflammation and with an extreme burning, with the sword and with blasting, with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
People don't even know what that even means when they're reading it. Like when I see all of these things that he said, I see black people going through this all the time. That mildew is like that. That's like mold.
Right.
And there was just a situation where, and a lot of black people don't even know, a lot of these dwellings that they're in have mold in it, and it causes problem.
Yeah.
It causes problems in their life. There was just a newborn babies. It's on the news. I didn't get the names or anything or what city or state, but I just saw it to where they died of being exposed to mold.
God damn.
Inflammation. How many people be having messed up joints and like they be having stuff wrong with them because they're having issues with their health. Now that burning, that could be a lot of things.
I know, right?
Yeah, it could be a lot of things.
I don't got no burning.
But the key is, it says they're going to pursue you. And in verse 20, it says, because you forsook the Most High. You forsook him. So the reason why you can move to all 50 states and you're going to have some of the same problems is because the Most High is letting these curses pursue you. So what should we be doing? We should be following the laws, the statutes, and commandments. And we shouldn't let somebody who calls themselves a pastor, which is not a real shepherd, tell us anything else, because the Lord didn't do away with the law. He didn't send Christ to destroy the law at all. And Christ said it himself. He said, I come not to destroy the law. Christ came to fulfill the law. Let me get Proverbs 13 and 21. Here's another precept. Go ahead.
Real quick. When I was just reading through this verse you just read, did you ever look up what blasting was? When the Lord's going to send blasting to us?
Blasting? Nah. Did you look that up already? I remember somebody broke it down, but let me get that for you. Give me 1 second. It either be in my notes or I could Blue Letter Bible real quick. because the breakdown, I just want to make sure I had the right one. Let me see. Deuteronomy 28:2. Give me 1 second. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. That I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you did that because something else just popped up. And I might not even go to what the story is, but I'm sick and tired of us being so easily tricked.
Yeah.
Like, you ever go online and you see something that you know is fake, and you could tell that in the comments, all the brothers and sisters believe exactly what's going on. And you like, yo, I wish I could be the voice of reason, but on this app, my voice is so small, I can't even give them the truth right now. Give me 1 second. I'm there.
I try to find something on it, but ain't nothing really come up for me.
Nah, no sweat. Let me see. All right, yeah, it's what I thought it was, but so, and I'm glad I found it because I was about to use it's I don't want to describe it wrong, but blasting is like, that has to do with like the crops. Like, it's something happening to the crops, and it's like, I don't want to say wind is blasting your crops away with like sand and all this other stuff, but it's something that is happening to your very crops. Like, and this can even be something figurative, like in your life today.
Right.
But that's what it pertains to. And I'll get another breakdown for sure. But when I look up the the usage, it's talking about like it says it's talking about crops when I look up the biblical usage. And I remember that's what somebody said about the breakdown, but they broke it down way better than what I just said. But Salaki, like I said, there's men that have been in this truth for like 20, 30 years, and they will break them scriptures down inside and out. And they can even look at some brothers and break them down inside and out, know what type of man they are right on the spot, and be a great judge of character. But Salaki, if I could, Proverbs 13:21. We can't run from our problems. A lot of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans think we can run from our problems, especially those of us who think that we have our heritage within Hamite countries. We think we can go over to Africa, and we think we can have some sense of, peace over there.
Hell no.
But the same things that happen over there, or here rather, are going to happen over there. Absolutely. Because, like I said, it's like being an animal and you don't have that herd around you to protect. You about to go over there, and I'll just use an example. You think just because these people look kind of like us, they are our people. But a horse and a donkey aren't the same thing. As a horse, we can't go amongst a whole bunch of donkeys and think we're going to be protected. We're going to get singled out.
Right.
And them donkeys ain't going to treat us right, because when brothers and sisters report, they're alienated over in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And they still have problems over in Africa.
Nasty.
There was a group of Black people who were over in Africa who were in power at one time in modern time, and those Hamites overthrew them in modern times. Salakia. Proverbs 13:21.
Proverbs 13:21. Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous God shall be repaid.
That evil is talking about the punishments that come along with breaking God's laws, statutes, and commandments. So we read in Deuteronomy 28:45, you'll be pursued by curses. And in Proverbs 13:21, you'll be pursued by curses. And you're going to get the punishments that come from breaking the laws, the statutes, and commandments. Let me see. I had this highlighted. I don't believe I'm gonna go into that today for the sake of time. But one of the other things I wanted to, as we look around, we have to start having some sense of wisdom and look at things and not be so tricked and letting everything, be brought to us. And what keeps coming back to me is that that alternative lifestyle. They want to say that we have to use certain pronouns. They want to say that we have to do certain things to where, you know, we encompass everybody, but really it's just a lifestyle that's being forced on us, and we're not giving enough pushback because they're getting too comfortable. But you know what I haven't seen them touch? I have not yet seen somebody say for the Constitution, what would they say? She, him, her, them is created equal. I have not heard somebody try to touch that yet. Have y'all heard that yet? But yet, if you, what's they call it? Misgender? Like if I say, excuse me, ma'am, like I'm not a man, I'm not a ma'am, I'm a man. You're gonna go through a world full of like arguments. There was a meeting with a whole bunch of these type of people, and they couldn't get through even a single thing because of all of the issues with, oh, I'm a she, I'm a them, I'm a him, I'm a her, I'm a Pat, I'm a this. And it's like, yo, none of that really matters. Like we've been given decisioning power on as young people that we can cut off our rods,
right?
But we can't decide that Israel shouldn't continue to get $3 billion. Like you don't have, like people say this is a free country, but what power do you actually have to do anything that means anything?
Nothing.
Like cutting off your member. You think that like in the infinite expanse of the universe, you cutting off your joint, do you think that means anything? Like that means nothing. But Israel getting $3 billion, Ukraine getting hundreds of billions of dollars, your government bringing in like literally billions of dollars of drugs, that matters. You don't have the power to stop that. Oh, I could smoke weed now. You couldn't stop it from getting into your neighborhood. You can't stop groups of brothers from gunning down people because they have on different colors. We don't have any power in this place, but yet we feel like we live in a free country and we got the freedom to do a lot of things, but we really don't. We don't have the freedom to do things. What we've been given is lies. That's what we've been given. Salakia. There's one thing I want to bring up because it was brought up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to pass the class over. One of the things that keeps getting thrown in black people's face is the fact of slavery. I don't know if you guys ever ever see those conversations online, but they'll say slavery
I've seen them
has happened to everybody.
Yeah.
And without having the information that's in the truth, there's really no combatants that you really have. You don't have the fight. You don't like, I don't no longer want people in public that aren't from our school speaking on black people's behalf, because they always lose those type of conversations.
Exactly.
Like I see they go up against people and they lose the something as simple as saying, you know, what was done to us in this country was wrong and there needs to be payment for it, whether it be justice, whatever it be. It happened to everybody. It's in the past. And we don't even have an argument. There's one thing that I'm looking for, and I'm going to get to it. Let me see. 1 second. Because if you really had critical thinking skills, if you really had practical knowledge like we learn in here, then you wouldn't know how to refute that type of doctrine. Let me see. All right. I believe it's Daniel 9 and 12. If you can get that for me, and I'm gonna break a couple things down about what was being said. So people like to say that slavery happened to everybody. There were white slaves, there were Asian slaves, there were, purple slaves, whatever. But at the end of the day, was there ever a slavery where an entire nation, pretty much like a majority of a nation, went into slavery? Like, did all Caucasians go into slavery?
No.
Did all Asians go into slavery?
No.
No. And they'll say, well, all Africans didn't go into slavery. We weren't Africans.
Nasty.
Because they were able to distinguish who they should sell.
Exactly.
They were able to map out what was called Negro land. That's how you know that we aren't the same. If you do research, you'll understand that there's different classifications for Blacks and Africans. In science, they'll tell you what was going on. They know exactly who's what and where they come from. They may not know the names from the Bible, but they can tell who the ancient Egyptians were by physical characteristics of certain things that I'm not even going to mention right now, because I've said enough things that I don't feel like repeating today. But they know the differences, but these arguments are used to get you to not understand who your enemy is. It's these arguments are given to you to say, oh, well, we're all one people. We're all one people didn't go into the slavery like Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans did. America ran on slavery, and it runs on a form of slavery today. As a whole nation, we were put in slavery. The term MFer comes from us.
Right.
Because in our slavery, we were forced to copulate with our own mothers. They will put a bag over your head. They did things like turn each other against us. And this is to a whole nation of people. That didn't happen to the Asians. There was a railroad that was built. There was a servitude that was given. It's nothing like what we went through. They had, whenever a Black person would stand up for themselves, and I forget the brother's name every single class. I know you, Nat Turner. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They made him eat his own body parts. What other people on earth does that happen to? They even ate us. They turned us into shoes. They turned us into purses and other items. And they wore us. They took away our language, our heritage.
Right.
We can't trace back who we were. Who else did that happen to?
Incomparable.
Like, what other country built up another country and gave it this many inventions? How many? Like, we gave this country so many inventions, and we have nothing to show for it. Who else did that happen to? It happened to only Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans literally went into slavery on ships, like it says in the Bible. I'm gonna get it for you before we get to Ka'ash. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
Because at the end of the day, anytime some disgusting, dirty oppressor says that everybody went through slavery, you can say you guys wouldn't know what going through slavery was like if you were in it yourselves. And you'll be there soon. You'll be there soon.
Absolutely.
But you don't know what slavery is like, because the perpetrators have no mercy on the victims at all, especially to say something so callous, like everybody's went through it. Can you imagine somebody being unalived and it's my family member and I'm speaking up against those who have done it, and then somebody wants to bring up a goddamn paper cut when somebody had their actual head cut off? Like, what happened to you guys in comparison? Whatever nation you want to bring up is a mere paper cut. You can trace yourselves back. I bet you if you go into that Vatican, it has a multitude of different things. Every nation that's confederate against us can trace back themselves thousands of years back. A lot of Black people don't even know who their great-great-grandparents are. To hell with you talking about everybody went through slavery.
Right.
No, they did not. What you went through is nothing in comparison. What was I about to go do? Deuteronomy 28.
You would said
yeah, I need
I'm at Daniel.
Daniel, give me 1 second. Let me get Deuteronomy 28.
Salaki, my fault.
No sweat. That's the one I'm getting. Let me see. I'm looking for Deuteronomy 28 and 68. This is a bedrock scripture in ISUPK. This is how you know that the little hats are not the Jews that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
This is how you know that there is no other nation on earth that went through what we've been through. And I'll never let anybody to my face claim that. I'm willing to battle that to the death.
Right.
Because you can't claim something that you never been through and try to put it off on us like everybody has been through. It's disgusting. That's the equivalent of when we were being tricked by the Black Lives Matter movement, and we were chanting Black Lives Matter movement, and they said all lives matter. That's like an equivalency there. Do you see what that is?
Right.
Like everybody's hungry, but we're the only ones who aren't getting food. Go ahead.
And that just shows you that they're racist too. You know what I mean? Like your white friends or white colleagues that try to have that as a counter argument, like they really hate you and they're really racist and at deep down. Right. You know what I mean? It just doesn't show as much as like a Trump supporter or
it's
something.
Covert.
Yeah.
It's covert instead of overt.
That's all I want to say.
Absolutely. There's a covert racism because everybody, like every single oppressor doesn't want to admit that the only reason why they're in, like I said, America runs on slavery. Mm-hmm. They don't want to admit the reason why they're in the seat they're in today is because of slavery. And then constantly pushing our people down and doing things like bringing drugs into our neighborhood, demoralizing and destabilizing us to even coming together and be something. How many movements did COINTELPRO break down? Let me go ahead and read Deuteronomy 28 and 68 for the sake of time. And the Lord God shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. That's talking about Israel. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Well, how do you know that they are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Because we went into slavery on ships. Egypt is synonymous with bondage. You can look it up in the Bible.
Right.
But your pastor has a boyfriend and he's not telling you these things. He has a boyfriend in a see-through shirt. There's purple lights behind him. And instead of using what you give him for good, he's going to buy a Mercedes Benz and he's going to do some unspeakable things with his boyfriend in that car. All the while, he's not telling you what you need to do to get on the Lord's side. I'll continue. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. We're not going to get to see Israel the way we saw it. And this is talking about the people that are going to be put in those ships and we're getting sent off. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies,
right,
for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, which means to redeem you.
Right.
That didn't happen to anybody else. I'm going to end it off with this scripture to prove that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have gone through hell on this planet, and there's not a nation on earth who has gone through it like us.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 12. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us.
So God said he's going to confirm his words. Like he's going to stand on what he said. He said, if you don't do what I told you to do and what you made a covenant with, all the curses, the going into slavery on ships is going to happen. Continue.
And against our judges that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil.
A great punishment, something so terrible, being figuratively and literally eaten by our enemies, being unalived, being SA'd, being forced to lay down like a husband would do a wife, with making us do that with a man that's a Salakia, making that do that with I can barely get it out because it's messing my head up right now. A mother and a son are being forced to sleep together to breed by these animals. Who did that happen to? I know y'all brothers don't want to sleep with your mom. Like we don't have Oedipus complexes, but yet and still, that's what they made us do. Continue.
For under the whole heaven.
Let's hear that again.
For under the whole heaven.
The whole heaven is the sky. What the Most High is about to break down is what you need to let these devils know when they try to say, oh, everybody went through it. Continue.
For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
There is not an evil on this planet that has been done like it's been done to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
And the only way an oppressor can fix his mouth to say that it has been is because they are the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Exactly.
With that being said, follow the laws and statutes and commandments, get in class. We got classes in Smyrna. We got classes in Wilmington. I'm going to go ahead and pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kaash.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and set themselves with the work. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the head. Tithe is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Micah through the 10th in Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest fund is a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming feast is the Feast of First Fruits, right? Feast of First Fruits.
I believe so. You might. Do you have it in that stack of papers there?
Yeah, the Feast of First Fruits,
Yeah.
Sunday, April 28th.
No, let me see. No, it should be the trumpets in October. Because April already passed, right?
Oh, it's fine.
October 2nd, I believe.
Yeah, all right. The more the blow the trumpet, October 2nd. Lucky. If any brother wants to be a trooper in school, he's to start wearing black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we'll say a mic and stand.
Everybody in the class, go ahead and stand. Imagine. I'll give a courtesy salute.
Men of Israel will give a courtesy salute. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Rock. Yahweh.
Shem Yahweh Shabrakathum.
Yahweh means hands down. Soft. Turn the face to sisters. Sisters. Imagine. Men of Israel. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. The rock.
Yahweh Shamar Alathum by Shem Yahweh Shah. Can I see that paper real quick? Yeah. Wow.